What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Dia Direct, and I am here in the Red Velvet Cake Studios, and this is Beyond the Studio. And we are going beyond with the woman herself. She is on fire. She is fabulous. She is Alicia Keys in the building,
Thank you.
indeed.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Great.
You are.
Thank
You're
you.
looking wonderful. You are on fire.
I'm feeling very fiery, and you are on fire too.
We'll take that.
I
All of
know.
that. Yes.
Okay.
Look, let's start with the hair. Let's just start from
Well,
that.
okay. I'm willing.
First of all, the shortcut is on fire.
I love it.
Were you scared? How did you get to the place when you were like, you know what, let's just do it?
No, okay. It kind of happened like this. So I've been wanting to cut my hair for a long time, but
Really?
never knew like, well, how and what and that kind of thing. So finally, I started trying it out a little bit. My hairstylist came, and she was like, well, why don't we just try to see how it would look? So we tried a couple of looks. I loved it so much. I was like, that's it. Let's do it right now.
Really?
So I just cut it, and my hair was just on the floor, and I just cut it.
Well, I want to welcome you to the short girl
Yeah.
hairstyling. Right. Powerful women wear their hair short.
I love it.
I love it.
Thank
So,
you.
okay, how are you dealing with the maintenance of it all?
It's good. You know, I actually find it to be easier than long hair, to be honest. And it's quicker to wash. It's quicker to take care of. And when worst come to worst, I just kind of like throw it back, like in this just like real pullback style.
Which is sexy as hell.
I love it.
Yo, could I just tell
So-
you, when I saw you and you did the song on fire with Gabby,
Oh, man.
and your hair was back, I was like,
Yes.
yo, that's fire.
Thank you. So
Beautiful.
It's good. I love it. It feels great. I feel totally free, and I'm feeling it.
How do you feel differently with it?
You know, I think I feel more easy. I definitely feel like, I think you have your hair for a lot of years, so I think it kind of lets go of a lot of years and just kind of allows you to be fresh and start again. And that's a lot about what this album is about, really just finding my place and my newness now, and it just feels really empowering and like sexy and fly and fun. So that's kind of how I feel.
So you feel like a grown ass woman
I
for
feel
real?
Like a grown ass woman.
For real.
Okay.
So at what point did you like really feel like you transitioned from, okay, I'm trying to come into my own, to, you know what, I'm grown and this is right?
Yes, no, I know what you mean, and I definitely say it's been over the past couple of years. I think for sure, like 100 after I had my son, I was officially a grown ass woman.
Really?
Yes, definitely.
What changed for you? Like, what made you feel different?
I think that there's something about that responsibility and just that process of really growing to that place that made me realize that anything that wasn't right, I didn't want it. I didn't want it around me. I didn't want it around him. I didn't want it, And so I think that really kind of just helped propel me to a place of feeling confident, of trusting myself. And that took time. I mean, it took over the past 2 years to really kind of settle into that place of like, how do I feel? What do I think? And what's important for me, and really just execute that and live there,
I love that. And I know being a mom must be so rewarding for you.
It is. It really is. Again, I think what it does is shows me the infinite power that we have as human beings, and the way that we can really learn and do so much. And I think what he shows me is just how much not to take for granted. Like the littlest things are exciting and amazing. And I think as we get older, we kind of like brush by those little things, and we busy and we hustling and hurry up and we kind of miss the magic in those little moments.
Yeah.
So he reminds me of the magic.
I love it.
Yeah.
And when we think of Alicia Keys, we think of this amazing artist,
Thank
this
you.
beautiful woman, there's strength. I mean, you've got so many awards. Your music is always right
Thank you.
and speaks to the time. But are you ever afraid? Do you ever feel like you're not on and not on fire? What does that feel like?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. That's actually what this album really is about, This album, even though it's called Girl on Fire, but it's kind of like the journey to a girl on fire, because there's so many moments in this album where it's extremely vulnerable, which is exactly how I feel sometimes, which is totally confused or, needs words to kind of lift me up, you know what I mean? It's like, it's brutally honest and emotional, and it's all those things that we all go through. There's, there's plenty of times where you just feel like you know, you're not quite sure, or
Right.
how you gonna make it through this thing and
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
You know, so there's all of that in this record too. And although the first single, "Girl on Fire," is really like kind of like my declaration.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this album really brings you through the journey.
So there's so many young women and women. I mean, like you said, you just have your days when you're not on.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me and talk to them and just encourage women on those days when you don't feel like you can make it. How do you push through?
You know, I mean, I would encourage people to be honest about how they feel. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
think that's one thing that maybe sometimes we don't do right. Like, we have to be so considered to be so perfect in the workplace, or we have to be so perfect at home, or we have to make sure everything's right
And strong.
yeah,
Which
and
is
I think that
whack
you're
after a while.
allowed. Yeah, I think that we're allowed to have days where we're not very well, and
Mm-hmm.
and you're okay to say, you know, today's kind of a rough day for me, but you
Mm-hmm.
know, I'm cool and it'll get through it. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
just having a bit of a rough day. I think it's okay to admit that. I think
Mm-hmm.
we go wrong when we try to hold it all in and hold it all back and leave it inside and never say anything, and that's when we start. It eats us up. We get very depressed. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
hard to go through.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if you acknowledge it, you'll find that it leaves faster.
Mm-hmm.
When you hold it, it's like staying inside. So that's kind of how I go through it. I admit it, and then I push through it. I go to bed early.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I
Mm-hmm.
do something nice for myself. You know, maybe I need a nice spa day, or maybe I need my nails done, or maybe I need something where it's quiet. I need to read a book,
Mm-hmm.
and I do something nice for myself, and I go to bed and I start again the next day.
Biggest vice.
I never know how to answer that question.
Okay, so
really
like, what
don't.
do you love to eat that you shouldn't eat, or drink that you shouldn't drink, or just do it a lot?
Me, I'm just like a bread person. Like I have to literally like have the bread cut off moment.
Ooh, do you do it with the butter?
Oh my
and hot?
God. And it has to be warm.
Yes, it
and then
has
it's
to be
melted,
warm.
and then it's like, and I'm going crazy.
Ooh,
I have
see,
to
and then I
stop.
have the bread stuff.
No, I have to stop. No, I have to like, I actually have to like just cut my whole self off.
Right.
Exactly.
I love it. Well, before we go, you have a heart of gold,
Oh, thank you.
and we see it in your music.
Thank you.
And we're glad that you get it all out, because then you help us all get it all out.
Thank you.
So that we can actually be on fire, right, and
Yes.
take it to the next level.
Exactly.
And I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge Keep the Child Alive.
Thank you.
And personally, you know, I've had family members, so many, deal with HIV/AIDS and just the struggle. And so why do you care so much? Because you have the organization, you've been a champion for Keep the Child Alive. Why? When did that happen for you, and what made you say, I need to do something?
It happened for me on one of my first trips to Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I was able to really see with my own two eyes exactly what was happening with the AIDS pandemic, and how it was affecting people. And how was it affecting people like my age? This was almost 10 years ago. So I was meeting people who were 15, 19, 18, and 14, and they were losing their parents and being left orphans and having to like be the main caretakers of their younger brothers and sisters because they couldn't get access to the medicine, the antiretroviral medicine that would actually keep you alive. So it just seems such an injustice to me that there was medicine that existed, but people couldn't get it because they couldn't afford it. And so that is kind of what started me on the path. And now, 10 years in, I'm actually really, really getting more and more passionate about the domestic AIDS issue, because it is pretty intense what's
Yes, it
going
is.
on here in America.
It's no joke.
It is really not. And it leads to so many things in our health issues and our healthcare systems, and what we have access to and what we don't have access to, and the knowledge we have and knowledge we don't get.
Yep.
And it is very interesting. So I really want to move and broaden into that now, because I think that we all have to, it's a global issue.
It is a
and
global
we have to
issue.
talk about it like on a bigger
And
level.
the issues that you just talked about, to close it out, is really where it stands. HIV/AIDS is a health issue, but I also see it as an esteem issue, because how you feel about yourself has a lot to do with the decisions that you make.
It's true.
It means that you get involved maybe in unhealthy relationships, or you're looking for love. So even in your anthems, even in your music, for the women who feel like you have to compromise yourself, this is Dear Direct and Alicia Keys telling you, you can live a life on fire. You do not have to compromise yourself. Live. Not just keep a child alive, keep yourself alive.
Yes, you are your number one priority. And if people don't respect you, then they have to go. If you don't respect what I say, you got to go, period.
Yeah, I think we went beyond the studio, but what you think?
I like it.
Yeah. All right, Alicia Keys, thank you so much.
Thank you,
You're a
Mama.
blessing. We
You
appreciate
too.
you.
Thank you.